Hello there, my name is Akshay and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. And in this course, we have already learned about many things in MySQL. And in today's video, I'll be explaining you about the alter table statement. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to open my SQL command. Okay, so this is the MySQL command line, and I'm going to increase the font size so that you may see it. Okay, so we have entered the password as root and we have created the database of GFG, so I'm going to use it and I'll show you what are the all the tables created that we previously created inside this course. Okay, so these are all the tables that we previously created, and as you can see, there are a lot of tables that we created previously. Okay, so I'm gonna use the table name school. Okay, so first I'll show you what was the basic table of school. So for that, I use select asterisk from school. Okay, so this was the table that we created earlier in the previous videos. If you have not watched all the previous videos, you can go on and watch all those videos that you may be able to realize what are all the different things in MySQL. Okay, so in today's video, we will learn about the alter statements. Okay, so what are alter statements? Alter statements are used to add, delete, or modify columns in an existing table. Okay, and alter statement is also used to add and drop various constraints in a existing table. So, what does this statement mean? This statement means that whether if ever we want to make changes to the structure of the table, like the structure of this table, school, it can be shown by the desc command, right? So this was the structure of this table. Okay. Now, if I want to make changes to the structure of this particular table school, for that, which command do I use? I use the alter command. Okay. So first, I'll show you how to add columns inside this table by using the alter command. Okay. Now, the basic syntax of adding a column inside using the alter command is alter table, table name. Then you have to give add, and after that you can give the column name. Then after that you have to give the data type, and inside the brackets you can decide the limit, and after that you can provide any constraints you want. Like we have also learned about the constraints, right? So you can also provide constraints over it. Okay, so this is how you use the alter command to add a particular column inside a table. Okay, so this was the basic syntax of alter command, and now I'm going to show you how this command works. Okay, so for that we will use the alter command in this school table, right? So for that I'll use alter table school, and after that I'll have to write down add, right? So add. Then after that, I'll have to give the column name. So what kind of column do I want to add in this table? Let's see. So there is roll number, there is name, state, country, phone number, and age. Uh, let's add a column that is gender. Okay. And the data type will be character, and the limit should be 5. Okay. We are creating an access limit because we don't want that it shows us an error if we try to insert longer characters. Okay, let's set the limit to be 10. Okay, so yeah, this is it for the creation part. And alter table school, add gender character 10. This should add a column to this table school. Okay, and the column name should be gender, and the data type should be character, and the limit should be 10. I have not given any constraints over here. Like if I give not null over here, then all these this is gonna show an error because all these rows will have null values. Okay, so let's create this column inside this table. So I'm gonna press enter, and as you can see, this column should be added to the table. So I'll show it to you by using the dis command. Okay. So for the desk command, I have used the desk tool, and as you can see, gender is added over here. Okay, so this is how we use to add a column to a table. Okay, now what if I want to delete a column? Like this state column, this country column is not very useful, right? All of those roll numbers are living in India, right? So for that, what will I do? I want to delete this column. So for deleting this column, I'll use the alter drop command. Okay. So for that, I'll use alter. The basic syntax of alter deleting a particular column is alter table name. Then after that, you have to give drop column name. Uh, Drop column name. Okay. So this is the basic syntax of deleting a column from a particular table, and it doesn't work because it is just the basic syntax. Now I'm going to use it in our particular school table. So for that, I'll write down alter table school and drop. What I want to drop is country, right? So I'll write down country. Uh, Wait, I have to add column over here. Drop column country, and after that at the end I have to put a semicolon, and as you can see this column is not deleted. So if I try to show you the description of this table now, it's not having the country column because we deleted this column just now. Okay, so that's how you delete a column inside a table. Okay, now let's say I want to change the name of this particular column, like the name is given over here is number, right? So what if I want to change this number? So for that, I'll use the modify command. Okay. So these are the three basic commands inside the alter table statement. The first one was the add, the second one was the drop, and the third one is modify. So how do we use modify? The basic syntax is alter table name. Then after that, you have to give what? Modify column name. Then after you have to give the new data type, and wait a minute. The syntax got erased because I accidentally clicked the upper button. Let me write it again. Okay, so alter table name. Then after that you have to give modify. Then you can give the old column name. Then old column name followed by the new column name. And you can also change the constraints, or you can say the data type of the column. Okay, so it only works if all the rows inserted inside the table uh, are following the particular syntax. Like if you want to change the integer to double, okay, so you can do that, but it won't be possible if you want to change the character into the integers. Okay, so that kind of changes won't be happening. Okay, so we have to provide the new data type, and you can also give the constraints. Okay, then after that you have to put a semicolon and you can press enter. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of modify inside the alter table. Okay, now let me write down, use this command in this particular table school, and I'm going to change this number to roll number. Okay, so for that I'll use alter table student, and what do I want to change? I want to modify the number by roll number, and I don't want to change the data type of this particular column. Okay, so I'll just put a semicolon and I'll press enter. So it is showing us an error because we have not given the column over here. Okay, so in the basic syntax you will also have to change this. You have to write down the column over here, modify column, then the old column name, then the new column name and the new data type, and you can change anything inside this. Okay. So that is the basic syntax of modify. Okay. Now I'm gonna use it in our table. Wait a minute. So this was a syntax and modify column number, and we have to change it to roll number. Okay. This is also showing us an error. I don't know why. Okay, so we'll see it later, and just a minute. Okay. Alter table student, modify column roll number. Let's try to name it as roll. It is also showing us an error. Okay, so this statement is creating an error for some reason. So I'll explain to you in the next video because we don't have that much time right now. Okay, and we can use this to alter a particular table, and this modify statement also works, but it is not working right now because I have created an error somehow. Okay, I'll show it to you in the next video. I promise that. And so this is how you use the alter command. Okay, so the next topic for this video is the foreign key. So I told you earlier that I was gonna explain the foreign key in the future videos, right? So wait. So we were gonna learn about the foreign key, right? So the what is a foreign key? Now foreign key constraints is used to prevent actions that would destroy link between the table. Okay. Now foreign key is a field or collection of fields in one table that refers to the primary key in another table, right? So when I explained you about the different keys, I left this part out because it was kind of difficult for me to explain you at that time. But now you understand that there are different constraints inside a table, and when you insert data inside a table, some of the columns should be unique. If I want to search for the rows, I can use the roll number column, right? So we what we can do is we can link the roll number column of two different tables, and what that will do, that will make it easier for us to access the data from both of the tables at the same time. So how do we make it happen? Like how do we use the foreign key? So for using the foreign key, you just have to use a keyword that is referencing. Okay. So there's one more example that will explain it to you better, that the table with the foreign key is called the child table and the table with the primary key is called the reference or the parent table. Okay. Now let me create two tables. Okay. So for that, I'll just create two tables. Create table person. We have already created the person's table. Let me first check if that is the same table. For that, I'll use select asterisk from person. Uh, Persons. Okay, so this table was empty. Let me show you the description of this table. Persons. Okay, so this was the table that we previously created. Now I'm gonna insert data inside this table. Okay, so let me use this. What do we use to insert the data inside the table? We use the insert command, right? So insert into persons values, and inside the values you have to give the values. So the first one is the ID. For the ID I'll write down 1, and then there is the last name. So for the last name I'll write down Jan, and for the first name I won't use long names, so let me just name A B C. Okay, and we also have to provide the age, right? So let's say 20, and we have to give the strings inside the quotes, right? So I'll enter quotes over here. Okay, so this is ready. Okay, so I'm gonna insert this row inside this table, and I'll insert two more values. Okay, let's quickly change it to Mr. Ra and XYZ. Okay, the age should be, let's say, uh 30. Okay, Then another row will be there. Okay. And the number should be 3. And as you can see, I have not provided the primary key over here inside this table, right? So it's gonna create a problem. So we are gonna create another table, and I made this mistake right now because I didn't check if this table had the primary key or not. So I can use the alter statement to modify this table, but the modify command isn't working right now. So we are gonna just what we are gonna do is we are gonna create another table, and whose name will be person, and it's gonna have similar rows. Okay, so let me just insert PQR inside this table, and for the age it should be 19. Okay, so let me create another table, create table person, and for the data type, so I'm creating a table naming person. Okay, so the first column should be person, or let's say ID. Okay, and the data type should be integer, and the length should be 11 as we have used previously, and it should be the primary key. Then the second column should be last name, and the data type should be varchar, and the length should be 200 as we have used earlier. Then for the next column, I'll use the first name, and the data type should be same. And the last one, I'll use the age. Okay. For the age, I'll give the number as 3, or let's say 4. Okay. Then I'm gonna close the bracket, and I'm gonna create this table, and I've not written int over here for some reason. So wait, yeah, this should be it, and I should be able to create this table right now. Okay. So yeah, this table is now created, and I'm gonna insert these three same values inside this table. Okay. So first one is inserted, then for the second one, and for the third one. Okay. So we have created this table person. So first let me show you the description of this person table. So this is the description of this table, and let me show you the select command so that you may know what is the data inside this table. Uh, okay. So this is the description of this table, and we just created this table. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another table whose name will be order. Okay, so for that I'll write down create. Just a minute. So for that I'll write down create order, and inside this orders table, wait, it's orders, and the column name will be order ID, and the data type should be integer, let's say. Then the next column name will be order number, and the data type should be integer, and the size should be, let's say, 20. Okay, so after that we have to add another column that which will be the foreign key, and let's say the name will be the ID. Okay, and the ID should be the foreign key which should link it to the other table, that is the person, and the column name should be ID, right? So the data type should be integer, and then what I'll do is I'll specify the primary key. So for that I'll write down primary key, and inside the primary key, let's say the primary key of this table will be order ID, right? So order ID inside the primary key, and after that we have to give the foreign key, right? So for the foreign key, what will be the foreign key? Foreign key will be the ID, right? So I'll take the ID, as the foreign key inside this table. And as I've told you earlier, we have to use the references keyword, right? So, so we have to write references, and after the references, we have to give the table name which we are trying to link it to, and the table name is the persons right here, and ID is the primary key of this table which we are trying to link. Okay, so this should be it, like the whole syntax of creating this table. Okay, now let's put a semicolon and press enter. Okay, so this table is now created, and after that, okay, so let us insert rows inside this table by using the insert command. So for that, I'll use insert into order, and after using the order values, we have to give the values, right? So after the values, I'm giving 1, and let's say the number should be 77433. Okay, then the person ID we have to give, right? So the person ID I'll give 3. Okay, then after that we will insert 2 or 3 more rows. Okay, so the number should be 2, and let's set it as this, and the ID should be 3. Okay, then after that we have to insert another row. So I'll press enter, and we have to change some more data, right? So let's change the order number to 3, and order number order ID should be 3, and the ID should be, let's say, 2. Okay, then this row is now inserted, and after that we have to insert another row. Let me input the random input, and let me give a random number, like 3 ID should be there. Okay, so now let me show you the description of this table or the content of this table by using the select command. So select asterisk from orders, right? So this is our table that we just created, and let me show you the description of this table by using the desk command. So for the desk, I'll write down the desk, and after that you have to write the orders and press enter. Okay, so as soon as I press enter, this is the description of this table, and as you can see, it has the order ID, and order ID is the primary key over here inside this table, and the other thing that is given over here, that is the MUL. Now what is this MUL? This MUL represents the relationship between this table and the other table that we just created, that is the persons table, and it is acting as a primary key inside the person table and the foreign key inside the other table. I think this is how we create a foreign key, and I think that is it for this video, guys. Let me give you a quick review of what I taught you today. So I started with the alter command, and inside the alter command, I explained you how do we add a column inside the table, and later then I showed you how to uh, drop a column of a table, and the modified statement, although it didn't work, but that was the syntax of the modify command, and I'll explain to you, I'll show it to you in the next video that it does work, and it is very useful if you're making the structural changes to the table. And I've also explained you what is the use of the foreign key inside my skill. Okay, so you can go to practice.geeksforgeeks.org, and you can search for any courses over here, and these all these courses are prepared by really professional mentors, and all these courses are really helpful while you're learning anything. So do share this one, and if you like all these things, so you can buy these courses, and you can also take this course, like you can search for SQL, and there is SQL foundation self-placed course over here. So if you are having doubts YouTube videos, you can purchase this course, and you can ask the doubts from other mentors. And you can also comment your doubts in this comment section below in this video, and I'm going to answer your comments in the comment section. Okay. So that was it for this video, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.